guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be answering a major question that is asked in the NASCAR diecast community quite often, and that is, are raced versions worth it? We will get into that in this video. Okay guys, so a majorly asked question, as I said, is are raced versions worth it? I'm going to be showing you a few raced versions, and we're going to be going over whether they are worth it or if they are not worth it. So, the first one is the Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2015 Talladega win. It looks like it's 2015. Now, I'm just going to address that they made the window banner like go down like this and up. If I just grab a normal 2015 car, it just went straight across. This is more realistic. My car doesn't roll very well because 2015, when I got this, I was a little kid and I would throw my cars around a lot and play with them. So that's why it's all chipped up. So, this car, if you're at a race, if you see the race in person that you're getting the car from, I get it. If you're seeing the race in person, you should probably get the diecast. It only makes sense. And if you're just like a fan of the driver, because when Martin Truex Jr. won the championship in 2017, he was like my favorite driver. So I went ahead and I got the raced version because he was my favorite driver, and I really liked Martin Truex Jr. then. Obviously, now I'm more of a Chase Elliott guy, but we'll get into that later. But honestly, when he won that championship, I knew I had to get the diecast. I knew it because he was one of my all-time favorite drivers, and I had to have the diecast. I had to have it. Because if I didn't have that diecast, I was going to go crazy. But I have the diecast. Because it has sentimental value, and if a car has sentimental value to you, even before you even have it, it has sentimental value, because if it's your favorite driver, or if you were at the race, you need to get the diecast. And like this Chase Elliott one, Chase Elliott was my favorite driver, and has been for a few years now. So I've been slowly but surely collecting his raced versions. I just wanted to throw in a few other things in this video, because I know a lot of people don't like race versions for the fact that they can't use them in their stop motion series. And what I really have to say to that is just kind of, if you want to use a specific car or paint scheme that a certain driver that you like may have ran, you should most likely get the clean version of the diecast. Now, this is the 2020. They're the same in details. They have all the same sponsors, but you need to get the clean version of the diecast for your stop motion series, because, in my opinion, race versions don't look good driving around a track. They're raced versions. They're supposed to have already raced. And another major question is, why does Lionel make cars that don't exist and or never raced? Well, the reason Lionel / Spin Master used to do that is because of the law. Because the law prohibits distribution of a car that has a alcoholic drink on it, an alcoholic drink or an energy drink on it. The law prohibits that Lionel release cars like that without putting them on a base. So they would make youth versions of those cars so that they can then distribute the youth versions to stores like Walmart without having to have the cars on a base, and people can buy the cars. And you could usually get the normal version of the car, at the track or online. So you could still get them, but, and a lot of people just didn't understand why they did that, and I'm here to settle this. And, another thing, people got mad about, people have been mad about, and I am mad about is this. Lionel put the championship logo on top of the cars and not on the deck lid like they should be. Because if you want to use the cars for your stop motion series and they didn't make the car, what are you going to do? Just not have a car? Because that's really what I feel like they want you to do, just not have a car to use, because they didn't make that Matt Crafton truck normally, as far as I know. And if they didn't make the car, how are you supposed to use it for your stop motions? Now, people have printed out details to put on the top of their diecast, but it's just not the same. Like, the color doesn't look right half the time, and it just looks really choppy most of the time. But if you're a fan, like, again, if you're a fan of that driver, get the car. Like, you can get the car if it has the champion logo, because if you were rooting for that driver to win the championship and you're a fan of that driver, you should honestly get the car. So that's my stance on it. And another thing that really bothers a lot of people, which also bothers me too, is Lionel quality control. Because sometimes it feels like Lionel has little to no quality control. Because some of the cars I've gotten in the past have really bad quality. Like Danica Patrick's 2013, it doesn't roll very well at all. And this wasn't from me playing with it. It hasn't rolled. It hadn't rolled since I got it. And that is a little bit aggravating, seeing as how you pay so much money to get these cars and then the quality is just out the door. And another car I have to complain about that on, especially, is Jeff Gordon's 2015 car. You know, this car doesn't even look like the car that ran. It doesn't. It really doesn't. This car doesn't even look like the car that he drove that year. And that's a little bit disappointing to me, because it was his last year and I wanted his diecast. And the quality just went out the door. Now, a lot of times, nowadays, Lionel does do better on their cars. Especially on the 124s. Lionel has been amazing on the 124s. And every single one of their 124s that I have gotten have had absolutely amazing quality. I've had really nothing to complain about on any of their 124s, except this. You can see that it's sticking out there. It should be flush, but it's really not that big of a deal for me. I mean, Lionel has given me a bunch of good quality cars and not that many bad quality cars, so I would say that Lionel's been doing good. And I think Lionel had the best quality from 2008 to 2013, because those cars just look amazing, with the exception of that Danica Patrick 2013 I was just talking about, but that's like the only exception. But yeah, like I said, Lionel's quality control, absolutely amazing for the 124s, but on the 164s, not so much. I mean, nowadays, they do a pretty good job, especially with the Authentics. Some of them can be good, but like the Joey Logano car I showed you at the start of the video, that was in the intro, I don't know if you could notice, but that grill is lopsided. That ain't straight. Why, Lionel? Why? I just don't understand how Lionel does this. And maybe it's not Lionel who's doing this, and maybe it's Action. Maybe it's Action Racing's fault, but maybe Lionel has nothing to do with this. I don't know, but I'm gonna just say it's Lionel because the cars are under the Lionel name, and they have the Lionel logo on the base. They have Lionel Racing on the box, which means it's most likely Lionel's fault, unfortunately. Now, people ask all the time, where has the quality gone? They're like, where has the quality gone? They say that cars used to be so much better quality, and I'll give you an example of that right now. Here's an example of that. A car made in the late 90s. Rubber tires, metal chassis, detailed interior, and look at this now. Plastic tires, plastic chassis, non-detailed interior, and the only thing that is metal is the body. It's disappointing. I wish Lionel could live up to what they used to be. I mean, even as recent as the COT era, they still had some really awesome cars. I mean, look at the clear coat on this, the gloss. And look at them now. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. Leave in the comments below what you think. But the next question I have is, why did Lionel ever conceive the idea of the PTC/WLS mold? Now, this has been a controversy for years, ever since the idea was conceived. And Lionel pumped out some horrible cars on this mold. Let me tell you. Like that Jeff Gordon 2015 car I showed you earlier? Horrible. One of the worst molds that they ever could use. And it's not just the mold, it's the paint quality. If the paint quality was better, I could get over the mold. If they could use the same paint that they use on these cars, I could get over it. But no, they decided to go down a different path. And who knows why? I mean, they've been doing the PTC mold as recent as 2018, and the one I have the worst example of is Jamie McMurray's 2018 Cessna car. Now, this car is bad. The details are low quality. Dirt sticks to the paint like nothing. I don't know what Lionel did with this car. It was so horrible. I mean, granted, I've seen worse, but this is one of the worst I've ever seen. I can't get over how bad this car is, and if this car was produced on, per se, this mold, the EL mold, it would be awesome. It'd be awesome. You could see the differences is the EL mold has metal as this little thing here. It's some aerodynamic thing, I don't know what it is, but like this little spoiler thing, that's metal. On this one, we get plastic. They gave us plastic. I mean, I know it's the cut cost, but even on the new cars, it's still metal. I mean, I realize that even on the Fords nowadays, they don't use metal, they use plastic. As seen in the Ryan Newman car, you can see that it is plastic. And on the Toyotas nowadays, plastic. I mean, come on, Lionel, give us the metal. We want the metal. We come here for metal. And this video, I know, has basically been just me complaining about things Lionel hasn't done right, but in all honesty, Lionel's done a lot of things good. So, in the comments below, let's get positive and write what you think Lionel has done the best in the year of 2020. What was the best car they decided to release? And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!